Good morning, good night, good evening, good afternoon. I, the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo, say good day to you. Please stand by, gaming enthusiasts. We're going to be taking a first impression look at a splash, a bevy, a butt-ton load. That is 7,000 metric ton loads. The universally understood by all people on all playgrounds butt-ton load. Will be commencing shortly. We may or may not begin with the game as listed in the thing, but we may indeed do. So we're gonna mix it up and mash it up and go crazy. I'm kidding. We're gonna start exactly with the game we've got listed. We just are standing by for some final adjustments as Classic is being reinstalled. I'll sneak peek that at you. Make of this what you will, but jump to no conclusions. We're taking a first impression look at a specific multiplicity of games today. So brace yourselves, catch up, tune in, log out, log in, don't log out. Smash that follow button, click on the solo.to, all the things. This will be starting in just a relaxadaisical moment. DJ Zed in the background, and in your head. Enjoy the audiophonic stylings of my imaginary Robotnik sidekick, brother from another robot mother, disco tech disc jockey Zedimus ZZ the Third. Ladies and gentlemen, please, your attention, I beg of you. Robot, announcer voice, script reader, automatus. Take it away, automatus, robot, automated script reader guy.
Start off for automated introduction script. Hello and welcome yin yang. Insert today's date here. Yin yang yin yang. Insert today's date here. Yin yang yin yang. Insert today's date here. Yin yang. Error code 420.
Are you okay there? Get on with it.
777. Hey humans. You are invited to attend this live stream show.
Live stream show, you
video game controller like video game controller presenting the almost daily variety gaming live stream show extravaganza. Live now on both TikTok and Twitch. CTAG Studios proudly presents the almost daily variety live stream show extravaganza. A special presentation of the almost daily variety chaos content creation Zeppoverse project of 2 minute projects. Hosted by
myself,
the incorrigible
me,
Mr. Zeppo,
and I.
Your new favorite fictional character from a book series that you have not read yet because it has not yet been published. Due to the author suffering from decades worth of writer's block syndrome. Featuring permanent sidekick and ampersand CEO host of this and every show. Discotheque Synthetica DISC jockey Zedimus ZZ the third III. Welcome to the Zeppoverse, a content creation project of 2 minute projects.
Huzzah!
Visit the many dimensions of the Zeppoverse at this link collection page.
Visit here.
https://solo.to/nrzeppo. Error code 420-19-777. New pause break exchange dialogue routine page break and wait for Zeppo here end page break instructions recursion warning.
Stop.
A variety chaos production of many projects combining
right on
public
through. I
discourse
won't.
talk show style podcast.
Indeed.
Gaming and content creation about creating content.
Making
In a
content.
live stream show extravaganza format. Featuring the self-commodification of the host. For your entertainment. Mr. Zeppo's TikTok Live and Twitch TV dual platform multi-broadcast show of many shows now with new and improved graphics. Featuring chaos variety.
Lori,
chaos
thanks for
roulette,
joining.
variety
Angelica,
franchise
thanks for
roster
watching.
Of too many games. And never quite enough time to play them all in.
Too many games.
Totally rebooted iteration of this presentation now featuring new special variety completionist collection roulette mechanics featuring an actual roulette wheel of variety choice making. With treats and surprises randomly distributed throughout the week. And at least one new spontaneous idea and
I am a robot.
announcement per streaming session. Plus Zeppoverse world building moments sprinkled chaotically throughout. Attention viewers on both live platforms.
Live.
Warnings. Ampersand.
Oh, people's names are rolling by.
Promotional items here.
Kenny just joined, and a bunch of others I missed. Sorry about that, Kenny.
In order to join
Everybody
channel
else?
give gifts. According to platform terms of service and end-user license agreement. Remember, we are here trying to create a safe viewing experience. And we invite you to participate by also following the platform community.
Just rotate your phone. Just rotate your whole phone. It's better sideways. For the TikTok viewers. Twitch viewers, you do whatever you want. You can do the same thing. Maximize
social media accounts of the fictional character known as the incorrigible MR Zeppo are the
Mister.
very
Why does he say it wrong?
Very radically unscripted. Very genuine thoughts and considerations and public discourse opinions of the creative content creation artist behind the Zeppoverse brand projects. Please be advised that some of those opinions may possibly be interpreted as potentially unusual, eccentric, or even mildly controversial by certain individuals. Warning, the host of this show, real Robotnik name redacted, otherwise known as the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo, reserves the creative license right to occasionally and quite randomly get just a wee bit political, on occasion, and duly reserves the creative freedom rights to do so at any time, on any of his same self-branded social media platforms about almost any subject, with the overt public commitment to balance his own real, raw, radically uncensored, ridiculously unscripted thoughts and conclusions with the disciplined civility of proper civilized public discourse practices of the highest standards. Disclaimer: everyone's free speech rights are respected here, with the important caveat that any and all downright dirty and disrespectful hate speech and threats or insinuations of harm are not and have never been included in standard free speech protections. rendering the issuer of such malarkey responsible for any and all public backlash in response to their bigotry. And also, any and all contributions to the chat that violate the platform's terms of service and or the end-user license agreement will be called out, properly mocked and ridiculed, and publicly corrected by this host on this and any other
Please
of
be
his
advised.
self-branded online platforms. Error code 42019.
Please be advised. These are legitimate warnings and disclaimers.
Spell check error corrected. Routine page break and wait for Zeppo here and page break instructions recursion warning. And now, some shameless self-promotion. Please,
by all means.
You are cordially invited to join the discussion and dive deeper into the exploration of insert subject matter here, redacted, by listening to Mr. Zeppo's podcast show, available on Spreaker.com and on the iHeartRadio network of platforms. Direct link to the show available on Solo to MR Zeppo. Also please, dear human audiences, you are also cordially invited to visit the official TikTok page for the Zeppoverse project here. https://www.tiktok.com/@theincorrigiblemrzeppo. When you do visit, please be sure to investigate the content I have curated on my weblog tab for public discourse. So please, dear human audiences, please have fun interacting with your host, the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo, in real time here during the live stream show, and engaging with all of his Zeppoverse brand socials. Regarding donations, thank you for wanting to help and support this channel. All donations will go to upgrading the stream setup and surviving the impending dystopian apocalypse. Thank you Zuluch confetti bursts and thunderous applause. Thank you. Please donate directly using secure donation website located here. Powered by PayPal. https://ko-fi.com/mrzeppo. Donations are what helps me keep my stream going. They are not required, but are greatly appreciated. Donations are non-refundable. By donating you are acknowledging you will receive no goods or services for your donation. Error code 42019777. New pause break exchange dialog. Spell check error corrected. Routine page break and wait for Zeppo here and page break instructions recursion warning. Finally, dear TikTok viewers, please drop a simple hello or an emoji in my chat so I can more accurately read your name and acknowledge you in between rounds of gaming when I pause to visit the TikTok monitor and do TikTok roll call. Warnings, ampersand. Disclaimers, ampersand. Promotional items have been issued, you have been warned. And now, without further ado, for all that ado was plenty, please give a warm welcome to your new favorite host and fictional character from a book series you have not read yet, because he has not actually really started writing it yet. The weird, the odd, the eccentric, the one and only robot from the future playing video games like a human being in order to survive your local, self-imposed, casually hypocritical, preemptive political apocalypse. The incorrigible MR Zeppo. Insert robot audience applause sound effect here. CTAG Studios, the production company that exists entirely in Mr. Zeppo's imagination, proudly presents. Enter today's current episode live now on title here. Yin Yang Call of Duty. Mobile Yin Yang Ranked MP Grind Yin Yang. Almost. Daily Duty Yin Yang Friday the 13th of June 2025 Yin Yang.
Snap.
Insert today's date here. Yin Yang. And up next,
I had not even thought about it.
Current live video session. Yin Yang Call of Duty. Black Ops 6 MP Yin Yang Zen Silent Mode Yin Yang. Almost. Daily Silent Skill Grind Yin Yang Yin Yang. Insert
That's later
today's
after
date
the
here.
first
Yin
impression
Yang.
stuff.
And up next,
Up
after that
next.
future current live video sessions next after that Yin Yang Call of Duty. Black Ops 6 Warzone Yin Yang Zen Silent Mode Yin Yang. Almost. Daily Silent Skill Grind Yin Yang Mini Grind Session Yin Yang. Insert today's date here. Yin Yang. Also and ampersand tune in later in the weekend for Yin Yang Paleo Yin Yang First Impression Continued Yin Yang. Almost. Daily Gamers Review Talk Show with Playthrough Yin Yang. Please stand by, gather round, and tell your fellow gaming enthusiasts about this fictional character's project of many projects and help this struggling content creating robotic from another dimension find the audience he needs in order to survive. End of faux automated introduction script.
Ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum. It's a dark day to do comedy, friends. No, for reals. All kidding aside, all robo jokes aside, I don't want to be the one to say it, but I think that this day, especially given the weird coincidence, which I did not think about at all earlier when I first heard the news, this day will probably go down in infamy as the new next day of the world that went down in infamy. For reasons that, if you don't know, bless your sweet little heart, keep living in that blissful moment for a hot second until the news penetrates you. But brace yourselves, I think it's going to be a roller coaster of what next. But having said that, I'd like to say hello and welcome to anybody dropping into the show. That was the way too long, way too absurd, way too bizarre, on purpose, by the way, absurdist chatbot introduction announcement reading announcement voice of announcements. I'm looking way up there in a weird, bizarre profile, not because I prefer to look that way. In fact, F this camera. Come here. Let's do a little bit of this business. There we go. At least this way I can stare up into the top of my skull at you. Welcome, friends. I'm editing I'm editing stuff. I'm editing the thing that you're looking at. If you're watching Twitch, just turn your phone sideways if you haven't gotten it yet. Max, also if you're on, sorry, I said Twitch. Sorry, Twitch. Twitch, you guys all probably used to that already. If you're on TikTok and you're not used to watching content horizontally maxed, pictured out, and you've been forcing it to sit on your screen itty bitty ways, go ahead and go hit max and set your phone sideways. It'll be more fun, especially once we get into the game. If you're here for the video game footage, we're taking an exciting first impression. If we can get excited, it's hard. It's tough. I don't even want to comment. I've not done a podcast episode about this. I've done 1 or 2 social media posts, one of which was sort of ubiquitous and sort of like the recycling of an old idea I've had before, which hopefully won't get taken down because I used the correct. I did it the right way. I used all the correct paths to create this short little meme loop with music. But yeah, it's not. I have not finished processing my thoughts about it, in all honesty. And it's sort of not something that we haven't all, or should have all, been slightly worried about and or thinking about to begin with, because it's sort of an obvious turn of events. Not that I predicted it. Wasn't on my big book card. But my general stance remains the same. I'm used to looking at the camera over there, and it's not. It's way over here. What does this look like when I'm playing the video game? Maybe this is a a straight coin profile view of my face, and I'm not going for put me on the silver dollar campaign. Although I guess I could argue that if I ever did end up on a postage stamp, if my profile ever did end up on a postage stamp or a coin, or not, it is easily recognizable. Hello, welcome. I am your new favorite fictional character, a sentient, human, fabricant, silica-based, analog being, similar to yourself in as much as that we all look and operate the same fundamentally, but I come from a universe where what you would call robots evolved first out of the cosmic goo. Instead of you, much more actually fleshy, squishy bags with your meats and your bones.
welcome to the madness. Let's set aside the circumstances of the world at large and take a look at this sci-fi action adventure. Now that I've like tried to acknowledge that, oof, the world's a mess right now, and it's kind of hard not to be distracted, and it's kind of hard not to say this is absurd in relationship to that. Why am I doing it? But also, it's what we're trying to do to keep moving forward, or it's what we were doing. It's what we would be doing pleasantly if all the gnarly things weren't happening. So I must press on, friends. And there will be much debate, and I humbly implore you to give me a moment or two, and also to see what's what. I usually don't overanalyze and then do a podcast too early. I usually like to sit with world events and then comment on it. But I'm sure there's already a tug of war, proverbial, on the social media about this or that, that side versus this side, and I'm just kind of like, that's all either true or not, or true and partially and whatever. It's all complicated soup of everything's gone haywire, and we're about to live in a world where, how do you know it is? Have you seen Mountainhead, the movie? Now pay really close attention to what's going on in their, quote, rest of their real world and how they talk about it. Never mind the main dialogue. That's the shiny toy to distract you with. Pay attention to the commentary on what the new breaking news is on their phones and their throwaway lines about that. For real. It's so alarming. And the role that those, what's the big thing about that dude's company that's problematic? Because if it, I'm not saying that it's happening now. But I'm saying they have all the tools. How does do you guys remember the beginning of that classic 70s comic book turned action adventure, cheesy Saturday morning sitcom TV show series? And I don't mean to disparage it. That's just a perfection of its goofiness, that they convey it effectively in words. About the Bionic Man, the Incredible... I forget what it's called. It wasn't the Incredible Hulk. Why was I about to say the Incredible? The Incredible Hulk and the $50 million Man or whatever, the $5 million Man or the $5,000 Man, or whatever it was called, the Bionic Man, and Wonder Woman were my top 3 shows for the formative years of me discovering myself being stranded here in your universe, let alone your planet, let alone this continent on this little planet, let alone in what state, but F that. Here we are today, and I wish I could insert my comedy remake of that opening sequence about having the stuff required to build him. We can make it so, as cultural reference, as pop cultural reference. But I do not. Because this show is real, raw, radically unscripted, and also just me and my struggle bus iMac. I've streamed a couple things directly to Twitch TV that did not make it onto TikTok, but hello again, TikTok Live. Speaking of which, let's go check in on that. DJ Zed, you still playing the music? Good. Will you do me a favor and trunk it on down to that magic number? Did I just have to talk over not the magic number? Now that I have a full name for you, I can full on, drop it like I'm your mother and you are my 6-year-old kid that just did exactly what I told you not to do and did it worse and almost snapped your own limbs off. But I don't remember what it is right now because I just came up with it in that last hot second and I don't have it memorized. What's your name? Your new name that we came up with you? Disco, it includes the DS. So his full name would be DJ Z. He just goes by DJ Z here on planet Earth. But his full name is Discotheque Synthetica Disc Jockey Zedimus ZZ the Third. With the third spelt out. And then the 3 Roman numeral ones. That I'm deciding is music DJ Z. And then we're gonna make a tiny difference between that and his romantic life partner, the polar opposite version of him. If you want to say the female version of him, although it technically does not apply because neither of them, they are very animatronic, robots made out of cogs and wheels and widgets and a running hamster inside, on a little spinny cage. They are like comic book impossible physics robots. Which on the book covers are oversimplified because they're wearing like their fancy, we're going out to a white tuxedo dinner kind of hard shell outer exterior that they normally, like now, do not do me the simple courtesy of putting on. But you don't want to see the cogs and wheels turning, and you definitely don't want to see their equivalent of the hamster on a hamster wheel that is their twisted quadruple beating hearts. But you do want to listen to the music. I'm taking it the wrong camera. The camera's not there. I'm literally like, what the F is wrong? I just have it. Welcome, friends. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. I am here as a content creative artist. One that would normally try to be doing something weird like this live on stage at a giant touring theater house, but I don't have the production company and the director and the money. And I'm probably fine. I'm probably okay that I didn't go down that path because I probably would have encountered all kinds of issues. And so I guess we can just say, hey, I'm ready for the post-apocalyptic version of it. Do you know the guy who wrote Ender's Game? He did a short collection book series, and in it there's one in which there's like a traveling caravan of steampunk cowboy theater, wagon wheel theater, but with the steampunk like sort of like Imaginarium, whatever his name is, Imaginarium, but cowboy style. Welcome to the show. Pins on the corkboard, so many references. Am I pointing in the wrong direction? What? Oh yeah, because the camera's over here now. Now the thing's kind of technically over here. That's what's wrong with this shot. That's my window I never want you to see. Normally, over there. Tripping balls about what's going on outside in the world, and yet we must power through and return to this. All of which is a working MacGuffin. I don't know how I'm going to ever have time to catch up to reality, to future cast the writing of a sci-fi action adventure, post-history, dystopian, and triptych novels of many novels book series about a future where our present is their past and what happens to them later when they repeat history. Because everything keeps swiveling and swerving and holy moly. I also saw this, I just didn't think it was going to happen before. I thought it was going to happen later. But I digress. We'll put pins on so many corkboards. Wait till you hear my podcast episode. I've got thoughts of churning. My real life commentary about your real life world. The incorrigible Mr. Zeppo, a fictional character trapped like Ford Prefect was in his book series, which is all about him. Don't forget that. Never forget that. It's actually about Ford Prefect. And his journey hither and thither across time in many ways, but always getting stuck at that moment at the pub where he's got to explain it to his earthling friend that they need to drink these 3 beers and eat this 3 packs of salty peanuts so they can get beamed aboard the spaceship and not get noticed, because the brainwaves would just be right, just perfect for space travel, and with minimum negative impacts. teleportations wise to your brain cells. Absolutely true. Dear humans, read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy soon. You were really behind on your homework there. If you are part of the Incorrigible Mr. Zeppo's infinite ad nauseum book series of books you should have read before you start reading mine and complaining, because it's half fan fiction in which my characters have already lived the lives of someone who was inside that book and are all sitting around going, yup, that was weird. Holy moly, it was so weird when I was inside that book. Were you wake up one day and you were inside that book? Like deep in it, like, whoa, I am so lost, what's happening? And then it all hit you, like, because you read it in junior high, this is the book you're inside of? Yep, that happened to you? Crazy, right? Well, it's happening again. Except this time, you're inside the multiverse of book series called the Zeppoverse. And you are the viewer watching the movie about the guy who read the book, who watched the movie about the guy who watched the movie. I forget where I'm supposed to stop, dude. There's so many recursive loop error codes here. I'm tripping. Join us for more of that in the world building project, even as I pointed the wrong corkboard area. And pay attention to the corkboard pins. It's a gimmick, but it's a real gimmick. Have you not been paying attention to the way my show works? We're not going to talk about a video game. If you're here for politics, skip the video game content and go straight to the podcast, as explained. And go straight to the breaking news, most recent episode, or the GMT, most recent episode. Those will not include the events of what just happened today. Like what everyone's reeling with, from and with and dear. My heart goes out to everybody who's directly impacted by the back and forth of the events of that new world stage, clash of titans, as we might call it. The countless list goes on, by the way, friends. And if you're tuning in and you're just finding out and you're just putting two and two together, you know that I've pointed out repeatedly, like, this is a proven fact if you pay attention to my content. There's a lot longer list of places where that's already been happening. Two places or two halves of the same place at each other's throats. Already, mobilized and kinetic. And I'm of the opinion that it would be nice if they just all would end if everybody doing all the hard work realized they didn't need to be. And like the song goes, the ancient, what will someday be ye ancient lore, yokel yodel country song about just putting the thing down, taking the hat off and saying, no thank you sir, I ain't gonna do it no more until you explain why the F we all gotta do that. But until that happens, we can make art and unite for world peace. Gamers for world peace. This is a Gamers for World Peace house. Oh, I was just stalling to make sure I wasn't just stalling. I was speaking my poetic vision. I'm writing a book series in which, literally, friends, if you're following along, multiple iterations of the character, the Incorrigible Mr. Zeppo, which is based loosely and inspired by me, I guess you would say, if it were a next level, like, super deluxe, like, it would make Terminators of all the, it would make all the Terminators scared, like, quake in their buckets. But also, it's funny as if it were friends with Ford Prefect and Z-Fad Beeblebrox, however you pronounce it. Depends on what region of, which iteration of the book you read. That sort of attempt. Like, for those who do not know, but have been trying to follow along, the book should absolutely, truly be read as though it were... What am I trying to find? That's the one. Sorry about the confusion for the TikTok viewers. Oh, perfection. There was like 4 trains that were about to crash, and I thought, no, I've got a tidy little route, and I'll talk about all 4 of them, and then they all disappeared. Read the book series. clip that, Eclipse. Hopefully, maybe I can blah, blah, blah. We're going to do one quickie dippy dippy do thing that's going to not make sense. We're going to log into Fortnite just to see. We're not going to play it. It's not the thing, okay? Don't freak out at me, friends. Hello and welcome to the show. It's wild, it's wacky, it's real, it's fun. There's the camera over there. Do I need to, oof. Wait, I want to find the setups. Dear Twitch, do not adjust your screens. It's fine. Just ignore me for 1 hot second. I wanted to step through because I need to know what they look like to even, there we go. Hello, friends. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the madness. It's First Impression Fridays. It's late on a Friday for most people on the planet. It's technically already Saturday. But this Friday will indeed live in infamy moving forward, especially once historians come double back around to review their thoughts on history in some future generation. And that's the place I've always lived my life at in terms of my literary ambitions, trying to imagine... I would honor, what's that other robot? There's a robot, that epic long robot movie that Spielberg did that I sort of love, but also sort of feel like it sort of didn't really give us enough robot. Although it was epic and long, and I get it. It was arduous, and I don't know, it was a little bit too saccharine. It was a little bit too coded in what some people might choose to get offended by and call sacrilegious religious imagery or sacrilegious use of religious imagery, and or but it's supposed to be religious. I don't know. I don't know which way it's supposed to go, but I do love it. Don't get me wrong. I love that movie. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing watching my stuff? Go watch that first. Not to plug any particular artist over another, but my real life references are references in the book series because my character is a walking, talking lexicon of a lost. The book series is set in a universe where the reader is like, I don't understand any of those references. And Mr. Zepp was like, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't understand? And Dancing, Singing in the Rain, and the sequel, Dancing in the Rain, and the third sequel. Like, he lives in a universe where everything was always three things. So if there was one movie, now I know we already have lots of movies that were three. Any movie that's already a triptych, like insert your favorite triptych here that was already naturally occurringly a triptych. In the Zeppoverse universe, you, dear audience, whether you're the viewing audience of some present tense or future tense, or the reading audience, again, of some present tense or future tense, live in a universe where, pretend, cosplay along with me, none of those things existed. Like, you never watched that. Like, you never saw Frankenstein 1, 2, and 3. The original. In its glorious black and white from beginning to end, even though color had fully caught on after the second one came out. And you're like, wait, what? What do you mean that's the way it was? That's the way it was in my universe. Every movie ever, the very first movie ever made, the Train, was The Train, 1, 2, and 3. There never wasn't a movie. There was in fact, the rude, bizarre, some considered too grotesque to even bring up are the movies that were only one-offs. Some are cherished as incredible, singular, mind-bogglingly complete, and have nothing else to say. Unique, gemstones of bizarro film history. But in our native universe, there was always three things of every three. And if in your universe there typically weren't until a few things always kind of tried to, some succeeding, some failing. If there was three, then it was triplified by 3. And if it did more than that, each of those was 3. So if you had like a 9 movie in your world, or a franchise that lived for 1,000 years, each of those movie titles came out in 3 parts, spread out over like the same year, and you would go to the theater. And movies were always super cheap, even when there was like steep economic dysfunction and decline and economic whatever, insert your favorite word here, for all the bad times. movies were always, relatively speaking, even cheaper than whatever your idea of a good cheap movie is. But I digress. World building moment. Clip that. But I wish I had like a... I can't because there's DJ Zed music playing in the background. I don't know what that sounds like because I don't have my headsets on. What were we about to do? We were about to introduce the ALTERS. It caught my eye because it's got a very, welcome to the show, folks, weird, abstract, all the disclaimers that you may or may not have ever paid attention to that are in the opening bit that I do, that I swear nobody pays attention to, are valid. So don't come at me until you've actually listened and or read through them. I should write them all down and post them as a thing somewhere on Gaming Mr. Zeppo. The complete script for... Put the pin on the cardboard. I shouldn't do musical related widgets. Okay. I don't even know why I wrote that down. But okay, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, my mind melted a little bit. We're going to take a look at the ALTERS. Because it reminds me of insert name of redacted movie here that recently came out. You probably know which one. Played by the newest guy in wearing the cowl of the old school, most original hero that's an anti-hero by default that's a hero that can do no evil, even though he does some very questionable things and may or may not have made some rule to himself. You know who I'm talking about. The man that is the knight that is the bat that is the man. I'm not allowed to say his name, but fan fiction splurge everywhere. Mr. Zeppo is a deleted arch villain that becomes sidekick, best friend / Justice League member from an alternate universe. He was also in the MCU natively. Sort of like, everyone's going to say I'm just copying Deadpool, but I swear to you, I did this. But oh my god, was I jealous when I heard about it's not even, they didn't even make it. They just pitched it to each other, and then it's a commentary line somewhere in some commentary. And someone made a meme. I tried to make a meme, but someone made a magic movie loop about it somewhere because I've seen it on socials. But there's a unmade deleted scene bloopers reel of all the places in the MCU that Deadpool was in every movie, but then they had to cut for some reason for time, and we don't really want Deadpool in this part of the MCU, so we just always cut him. But that he'd always been there from the day one in all the films. I as a fan fiction, pin on the corkboard. As a fan, yes, please. That's got to be an actual, if not a movie, then please, it better be not just a what if episode. But I'll take it if that's all they can give us. It should be a whole what if season. What if special sidebar, the Deadpool's deleted MCU in every film appearance, but got left on the cutting room floor. Blooper reel and cutscenes movie. Give us that. I want a 3-hour, whatever the perfect time for them to get it just right and it be perfect. And it's got to have every effing movie. And it's reverse engineer and also post engineer and de-age or post age, however you need to do it. But slam some stuff around and put Deadpool in every movie and then show us what it was that got cut. And make that a journey. Make that the Bilbo Baggins experience. And it should be a 3-parter in and of itself. Maybe it's got to be a cartoon. Ask if robot Kevin Feige AI is a conspiracy theory come true, then have the AI bot brain make it and churn it out as the first. Everyone complained about whatever when they used AI generative graphics in the opening sequence for one of their shows, whatever. Make a completely AI generated. Make it that one, right? Go. I want to watch it, but make it MCU official, please and thank you. Also, I'm gonna fan fiction that in my universe it always existed. It was always there. Like they literally did put that character in all those movies and then purposefully cut it all out for the shits and giggles and left Easter eggs for the of a lifetime's worth of like what, and then boom, out comes this movie that's like, here it is. It's some sort of how somehow it all makes sense because we thought about it ahead of time a little bit, just enough, and then just sort of cobble it together as we went. It's the kind of thing I want to do with, wait for it, the Zeppoverse. Because they stole it from me somehow. And that's my backstory. Like how I turn into whatever comic book character that invades both comic book character universes, crossover character that I become. It's exactly that. Clip that, Eclipse. Alright, without further ado, that's our new fun things for writing workshop, collabo writing workshop moments. We're going to go look at the trailer. There's a trailer. What is the name of this movie that I was thinking of? We need to jump into some War Robots from Tiers 2, by the way. Note to self. Yes, we do. This one right here. I had all kinds of other ideas of what I was going to do today, and then my brain melted because I looked up and, I looked at things, and, cameras. Hello, camera. There you are. I looked at, actually, where do I usually sit? There. That's why this is good, because this is where I sit when I actually play. I'm like this far back. I might as well. I might have to fix up the thing over there. But for now, doesn't it? Welcome, friends. Not Fortnite. Although I'm excited to check out all the new fun, exciting things in Fortnite that are new and exciting and new. First impression things that we want to click on through today. We're going to look at the ALTERS right now. But also to tease out, we're going to be looking at Siege X a little later today. I'm not sure it's next, or if it's another, or if it's last, or what. If depending on how long each episode takes, at some point I also want to try really hard to take a first impression, dip my toes into, and get started on the fan fiction favorite adventure RoboCop Rogue City, because I am a fan of those movies. And right now, if you've never seen either the old school ones or the new remake, odds are, if you're under a certain age, if you're like young enough to be my grandkid, you probably just want to watch the new one because it covers all of the concepts and is the pretty new CGI crazy. And it has the most claustrophobic, oh my gosh, this is what it would mean to be a brain in a jar depiction that I've ever seen. That I'm so jealous of, because I literally wanted to do something exactly like that, but in a completely different way. Other than the assembly title sequence in Ghost in the Shell, where you literally have a brain in a jar getting put into a robot body. But this one's it's scary, and if you have any kind of like claustrophobia or whatever, please be advised, it is not for everybody. Hold on, I want to fix a thing. I want to steal the camera, the webcam thing, and put it over here so we don't have to change it. And we have to go back and forth to this. Or do I just steal this one? Oh, I want to fix it first. Hello, friends. Welcome to the show. We're about to... Sorry, it's all hunky-dory, weird, and... I'm a wild and wacky dude. And I literally am trying to... We'll be exploring the concept of writing... Literally writing... Aww. The stream is disconnected. We will hopefully iron that out and get reconnected. But I am indeed, friends, if you're catching on, literally
oh, I want to fix this. We're just going to go ahead and get rid of those two chunks. The subscriber and follower on here, it doesn't even matter. It's just too much to load and just creates a memory dump on there that's not even that visually interesting. Please stand by. I'm into robots, clearly. So the new version of RoboCop is awesome. It proved to me that insert name of actor's name here, name redacted, actually can really act. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, my brain is like, I know. I'm looking at his face, and I cannot for this. I could not pull. It's just failure up here. But you know who I'm talking about. The actor who plays the guy, Murphy, who gets turned into the RoboCop. I'm really excited for that one. Is there a trailer movie? Give me some game details. Oh my god. I'm actually really excited. I don't know. It's from everything I've read in terms of we're here for a reason. Keep it together, Mr. Zeppo. That's supposed to be alright, that whole page is like not locked down. Put this page on lockdown, friend. Sorry. We got a little techno babble leaking through, stage management stuff. Okay. But we're going to be over here so that it's the correct, like, everybody on TikTok, just rotate your camera. It's fine. Rotate your device. If you're on an iPad, just rotate it on its little rotator. If you have a case, right? If you don't have a case, just rotate it anyway. Hold on. I will rotate my camera so that it makes sense. And give me a second. Come on. Do the thing where I can... There we go. It's just these two, right? Yes. And did it the wrong way. But they did rotate together, and it didn't rotate. I don't think it rotated the Twitch side. Please stand by as we make final adjustments. Right, the frame is a little out of whack, but whatevs. Boom, boom. Now we're ready. Now lock everything down. Greetings, friends. So this will be a little later on today. Legit. You should. Everyone who is a film connoisseur. This is a real life, honest, genuine, unscripted endorsement for both the new version and I've only really ever seen the first of the original set. I can't speak for the second, third, and fourth or whatever. But from everything I've read in terms of reviews for this is a great game, well built, that is both fun to play and awesome fan service for the fans of the original movie and its subsequent offspring. And as someone that loves robots, the moral dilemma about robots, the inherent craziness about how we may or may not use robots and the convergence of the body. There's already been a lot of real world debate about posthumanism, as the movement calls itself in some circles, as steampunk as a reality, if you want to think of it that way. Some people think it's evil and bad, and I'm not trying to defend it. I'm saying I love the sci-fi action adventure genre about these things. And the more it asks questions and probes the WTF level of like, oh my God. And trust me, if you go watch the new RoboCop movie with what's his name, you know who I'm talking about. He's great. He's great in it. And the scene where it is revealed to him exactly, let us put it this way, just how much of him is left in terms of what is the robo and what is the cop. It's truly epically, like, it reveals to you whether or not that sort of thing is something you've ever thought about, whether or not it creeps you out, whether or not you just think it's cool, whether or not, and if you really, really delve into, like, what would it be like to be that person trapped in that situation, like, could you endure and adapt, or would your, like, whole world and your inner world and your mind sort of not be able to cope with it? Like the classic conundrum of, like, the very fundamentals of WTF moments in their the finest, like the point of them in literature and in cinema. And on that note, because of that scene, if it didn't have that scene, I would have said, like, it's a cop action movie trying to be RoboCop remake. Okay. But because of that scene and the fact that it was just so epically, believably, visually, convincingly displayed and done and executed, and is just RoboCop body phobia, trigger warning. But when you watch it, it's worth asking yourself, like, how does that make me feel really? What does that make me think about really? Vis-a-vis, like, what if his situation, God, knock on wood, God forbid, is something that my parents' generation really needed to say. I think probably more out of reflex and training than anything else, but they could not say it. If that were your situation, theoretically speaking, God forbid, knock on wood, would you pick, the unknown, or would you pick the known, which is being encapsulated there in that way? It's a brutal question. I don't know how much about the game, about this version of the storytelling is about that, or how much more of it is just about him being a cop and, the world needing a robot that is a cop for it, to be the hero. But it is part man, part machine, all cop hero, dish out justice in old Detroit. Let's, for funsies, we're not about to play this. We're about to play that other game that I already introduced. We'll reintroduce it and take a look at its thing when we cycle through. But DJ Zed, mind you, please. We're gonna pay attention. We're gonna teaser trailer this video for the later episode. I'm doing this later today. I'm just excited. Nerd out with me for one moment.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me. Reinforcements have arrived.
Similarly, depending on how time plays out, but I'm just going to push through for this to be the sequence of things that I do, if not during the course of today, then course over the next 42 hours. Over this weekend, we're going to take first impression looks at all of these. In the mix for either next or triple next, Rainbow Six Siege X. Let's see if there's a video over here in game details. That's the one that we were waiting to install before launching. Rainbow Six Siege X is the reference in tactical team shooters, where elite strategy and executive triumph. Enjoy free access to quick match, unranked, and dual front-up game modes. Okay, let's watch the teaser trailer for this one. This one, I'm worried I'm going to not like the movement, as has been the case many a times before in checking out things on this other franchise. But it's the newest iteration, and because it's on Game Pass, but it's also on Ubisoft Plus, I like get all the things right now. And I'm probably going to not, forever. So we're going to enjoy that for a hot second. We're going to explore, look around, give a real, honest, genuine, real, unscripted, raw, radically unpaid for first impression review of it. Probably up next, I think, after the ALTERS, which I'm excited for various reasons. Not the least of which is that one reminds me very much of that insert name of redacted name of movie here, which of course it's not the same at all, but it just sort of has that kind of quality to it. And it's just multiplicity, like having multiple selves is so on brand for me. I'm kind of jealous of it. But okay, it's spiraling out of control. Let's watch this trailer for Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege X.
On my mark. Let's go! Go. You know I'm ready to go. Attracted a lot of gold. These medals reflect my soul. Yeah, I'm unstoppable. Every day I be paving my road. I put my life on the line. You know I'm ready to go. Unstoppable. Unstoppable. Stop me. Unstoppable. Stop me. Unstoppable. Stop me. They scared like Kasi. Now we just getting started. Ain't no way you can stop me. I'm good just like an if I'm hitting them, it ain't 40. I bring the beef to their doorstep. Unleash the beast to ring warfare. You don't wanna see when I go there. Scotty cadence when I'm on the chase. Always ain't never disengaged. Right behind like they always been. I'm right on time like I knew the game. Bro, bring the heat. I'm known to feast. You know my face like I'm on a lease. I got a quiet taste for victory. No, don't like to lose, so it works for me. To their heart like a burglary. Sharp like fine cutlery. King bad like Curry did. Talk crazy, I bury it. You know I'm ready to go. Attracting a lot of gold. These medals reflect my soul. Yeah, I'm unstoppable. Every day I be paving my road. I put my life on the line.
Okay. Somebody didn't trim the video at the end, right? But that's exciting. There's one more that I think is up here. Tom Clancy's The Division 2, also very recently, although I'm way behind schedule on taking a look at this, but also very recently dropped on Game Pass. I think day one style. I'm not sure. I don't want to make statements that are not true. It doesn't matter because it's been on for a bit. And I just realized and went, oh, I've got room. Let me check it out. Let's see if there's a video on this guy. No. But play Tom Clancy's The Division 2, a shooter RPG with a thrilling campaign. Fully, I'm looking at the camera is up. Fully playable in co-op and multiple PvP modes. Join the Division, an elite group of civil agents, engage in intense tactical combat, team up with your friends, and survive in a dynamic open world to save Washington, D.C. So I wanted to check out what that meant. It's offering a lot. Let's see if this in store it's got a video. Currently, it's available on Game Pass and Ubisoft Plus, and which means so should if it's Ubisoft Plus, then the ultimatest, the highest tier edition should, in theory, be. Yeah. Let's see if there's any add-ons I haven't added on. Oh yeah. I had not clicked through on that yet. So this is another thing we're going to be taking a look at up next. And there you go. For reasons, if you're a nerd and you've got the affordable disposable for those 2 subscriptions, then boom, on these 2 games, on any game on Ubisoft Plus, you get the top tier version. So whatever bonus stuff that is included with that if you were to buy it singularly without the pass, would cost whatever the maximum tier is, you get included in the subscription service. So whenever you're ready to play it, boom, you can install all the things. Obviously, that's a lot of content. There are way too many games on when you combine both services, Xbox Game Pass, that is part of playing an Xbox anyways, and Ubisoft Plus. But together, it's like you can literally overstuff your Xbox with stuff that you will never have time to play, and you'll have all the top tier stuff. And we're gonna take a look at some of them now. But in this episode that we're actually running right now, we're looking at this game. Let's see if there's a video here. Yes, there is. But first, let's take a look at some of these screenshots. Okay, so it's got like a No Man's Sky, wander around the world, identify stuff, but also a hang out with yourself, because you've got lots of multiple selves, sim life vibe to it, and also bunker builder. And we used to do a regular bunker builder once a week show with our multi-bunker games, both on iPad and on Xbox. So this might be reactivating that mini subgenre of our show. We just got to remember, pick a day again. Maybe we'll do this on Tuesdays. Tuesdays will be all the bunker builders. I love a game that does this, especially if then you go in over the shoulder third person live and wander around that space that you've built, as it seems somewhere or another you do. I don't know how this game is going to work, but look, it also seems to tease like open world explore and survive. I don't know I don't know. Let's read the description real quick. I'm blocking it on TikTok. That sucks. Hold on, let me move it over. So I'm going to put this so that it mirrors where Twitch is at, so that you guys get the same vibe. It's like you're watching on Twitch instead of TikTok, but you're on TikTok. It's dope. Welcome to the crazy. Okay, explore an emotional sci-fi game. Emotional. That's cool. I can get into that. Look at that guy's face. He's looking very emotional right there, but it also looks like he's on the verge of implosion of helmet status, skull squishing. Because that's what happens when you decompress and all the negative space inserts itself into the void that was your bubble suit. Explore an emotional sci-fi game with a unique sci-fi. Friends, remember, all of this is fiction. You have been warned and advised multiple times. Unique blend of survival, adventure, and base building elements. Help Jan Dulski, the sole survivor of an ill-fated space expedition, create alternative versions of himself to escape a hostile planet and tackle personal turmoils with his unconventional crew. Okay. One could argue, the ultimate narcissist trip. A bit, probably, and there's going to be a bit of that, I imagine. But full disclosure, and I kid you not, the following statement is very real. Is this the right camera shot? That one works, but that's not what I want to do. Let me go to main cam solo right here. Boom. Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. Full disclosure, the following is absolutely true. And has been true for decades. Decades. So don't come at me saying I copied this. I'm going to fan fiction reference. It's like we lived this, and then we're going to play it. But for decades before me seeing this, I have long described my core superpower as I am a being that sort of is the nexus of all its multi-universal, and it expresses itself to the small, fragile, petty human ego brain as scary transformer robot. And the crazier scared they are, the more clunky and the more grotesquely not human. But it's all like a relative perspective on perception thing, because the fundamental nature of the Zeppoverse being is that it's a singularity nexus being that functions as mirror. It is a hive mind of liquid, polymnemonic, living, crystalline, subatomic nanobot technologies that evolved out of the quagmire of the primordial ooze instead of carbon-based life, as you like to call yourselves. And yeah, like the singularity being is like the nexus of a being that is like, I exist in all iterations of all instances, and I can bring them here and be like, let's build this bunk bed real quick. All 7 bazillion of us in one blur of motion. But anyways, I digress. I'm excited for this game exactly because it's like, yeah, someone went and ran with that idea in a way that I haven't yet. And I'm just going to probably owe it a debt for rocking my mind and showing me something that they've already done so that I do make sure that I make my own thing uniquely different. But I digress. Thank you for hearing me out on that. Clip that, Eclipse. Zeppoverse world building note. Insert serial number here for future reference. And now, without further ado, for all of that ado was a plenty ado about something, friends. Let's enjoy this little trailer for this little movie here. And I'm going to go ahead and mute my little face so you don't have to look at it. And I'm going to mute my little microphone so you don't have to hear an echo chamber. And I'm going to enjoy whatever cinematic trailer. And then without further commentary, we will turn around and launch this game and enjoy whatever onboarding process. As you may have heard me disclaimer in other first impression games. Wait, bring up the minicam for a second. I take full right to be like super zen mode, especially if there's like a character creation process. I think you just sort of default look whatever like this character looks like here. But whatever, the onboarding until I want to come out for air, as it were, and break the silence. But that may be longer than you anticipate. Just bear with me. See you on the other side where we will unpack. And before we do launch and do this, because I want to watch the trailer and dive in. Let's honor whoever is over there on the TikTok by jumping through the portals. Jump with me, friends. Let's go check it out. Oh, this thing can go away. Robots, you can stop. Peace. Boop. Where are we at? 3.2.4.2. I'm kidding. There's not that many points. We'll refresh that to see what happens. And Renee, Y-Fire, Christy Newell, RNFL, UV, NMNM, Nancy, Leela, Mitch728. 88 viewers total. Scroll down by as we babbled and rambled and did a little world building. What did I have on? Nothing. Nothing to copy paste. Thank you for joining us, all of you folks all the way over there, and settle in as we enjoy the opening moments and the onboarding of this game. If it is for whatever reason weirdly abruptly like, "Bleh!" And now, here's a lobby with what's up, Napster 1808. I'll stop and comment when I'm ready to stop and comment, but it might be a hot minute, and I'm just warning you now, it might be a hot minute longer than you expected. 3495, I'll take it. Let's go. Please stand by. Oh, you know what? We forgot to put the camera on here first before going over there. Please stand by as we get ready. Let's discuss afterwards, though. We'll see you on the other side of this onboarding Zen silent mini run moment. Thank you for being here. Smash that follow button. You know the drill. Let's go. Muting mic.
I know our odds. Maybe it's time to consider the easy way out.
Give me all your love now.
That's so much darker than I expected to hear up front like that.
We might be
but also with the folk music, it's so counterintuitively sweet and scary.
Go on wasting my time, adding scars to my heart, 'cause all I hear is I'm not ready now.
You were always one of us. From day one. What if deciding, making choices was never anything more than just an illusion?
What's in your heart? But if you're not,
What if it got cut off right there? I don't know if that's just a memory buffering thing or if it's like they're just grabbing a longer video without actually having anyone prep it for this time slot size limitation on these little pages. But let me tell you, friends, I've already got big thinky thoughts here. Big deep feels too. What if? Big question. We're going to explore a lot of that. The dialogue. This might be a game that does what I was just saying when I was onboarding Palia. That's a sweet, cozy MMO that doesn't have all the grindy evil animal like monsters and stuff. But there is magic and there is mystery and there's lots of exploring. It's like a crafting survival MMO that's super cozy and super low threat level and like super chill and is building community within its community on purpose in a conscious way. One of the things that they didn't do was fully voice act everything. Now, I don't know to what degree narrative / that character explaining / all the characters talking to each other. I don't know how much will and or will not be voice acted and how much of it will be cute like quips that get redundant that are representative of, et cetera, et cetera. But if they do go full voice acting for all cut sequences where multiple instances of self-talk and it's really well acted, it will no doubt be really well written. It looks well produced so far just from the trailer, but then again, sometimes those are misleading. My big if is like, is this game heading towards a Zen-like wink, wink, nudge, nudge? Does this help you realize that everybody that is a living thing is and everybody that is all living things trapped in this body as one of the living things? But is everybody one in the sameness up here in the silence of the center of the skull that is the observer utilizing this meat puppet? If they are, then damn you, huzzah, for beating me to it. That just made me super more excited for the game. Whatever, it's definitely going to explore what I would hope would be artful and even cinematic moments of multiple instances of the same self coping with duality, non-duality, right? I am you and you are me, but we are also not each other, is a mystery that we have been bashing our heads against and whipping dead horses about through all of existence. And if we can go to the collective aha, or like, oh, you are another me and I am another you, and we are also not exactly quite each other, but we are also one in that experience. And we can stop pretending the more abusive and toxic and, oppressive versions of those are different than me and I'm special and therefore I can do horrible things to them ideas, the better, right? That we can have that aha moment. I don't know. Is that what's going to happen? I have no idea, but that was a really interesting and much more. It doesn't feel like it's supposed to be a No Man's Sky style action adventure survival. Build your bunker and overcome the end of time or the end of society as we know it until the end of time kind of game. But I think that's what we're looking at. Let's see how it plays out. So far, I'm excited for it, and I just want to babble on for more about how interesting it is that we are indeed dealing with the same person, right? Literally the same person, but in a body over there from itself. If there's no better analogy for the Buddhist analogy for all life forms, as they are all being expressed by the same genome, unfurling and exploring an infinite array of different life forms, the better, right? Because that aha moment does sort of like snap open a few sticky portals that are locked shut in most people. Let's get to it. Let's find out what this game is like. Let's not put too much of a burden on it. I'm a hippy-dippy weirdo. Some people accuse me of being new age. I'm sorry, but transcendentalism predates everything. Because I think we understood it once a long time ago, and then we let it slide away, and we beat it out of ourselves for the sake of profiteering on profiteering's sake. Yay. Controversial thought of the day. Clip that, Eclipse, and put it in the world-building project pile, please, and thank you. Let's go. Did you catch all that? Do you need a review? Yeah, even backwards I can read faster than you. Because I am a robot from a parallel universe sent here to warn you about your self-destruction. But you don't listen, so instead I gotta commodify myself playing video games where people play the video games. I've already made video games based on my ideas that I was sent here to tell you about. It's so mindfucky, it's weird. Read your EULAs. Clip that, Eclipse. We should make it a series. It'll be fun. Because it's funny. Like, people never read them. And yet, they're legally binding contracts.
How did I end up here? My whole life, all its ups and downs, led me to this place. Far from home, far from anyone I know. A journey whose route is unknown, and the destination out of sight. Was this path just a random sequence of events that I had to follow? Or was there ever another way? Now, at heading for the unknown. I can't really tell. Is this the end of the road? Or is it yet another branching? That was a tough landing. Polsky here. Do you read me? Anyone? Nothing. I need to figure out what happened. That's an emergency flare from my capsule. I should look out for those. Jan Dolsky. I've landed safely, but I think my capsule went astray. Maybe the radio's broken. Looks like she died inside of it. I don't get it. Mobile base. There it is. Olski here. Anyone copy? If you can hear me, I've located the base. And try and get down there. Maybe they landed closer to the drop-off point. I gotta keep moving. Capsules. Wait. What? No. That's impossible. They can't all be. Why? Makes no sense. Rising fast. I gotta get to the base. Yes, the elevator. Quick. Come on. Come on. That was close.
Awesome. I bet we're gonna learn a little bit about base building now.
Hello? Anybody here? For a moment, I hope someone else made it. I need to find the comms room and get help.
Okay, friends. I'm gonna be crazy. Can I save right here? Aha! I just want to see this. I'm gonna save out, friends. Call me crazy if you want, but that is our first impression splash review. That opening chapter, perfection. We now have the base, and there's a whole sequence of events. We're going to learn about this. We're going to go explore. We're going to figure out how that works. We're going to see what it lets us build, what it doesn't let us build. That's going to be dope AF. But we're not going to do it here in this particular segment. You're going to have to tune in for whenever we do part 2, which may be immediately after this moment, as soon as I come back. It may be tomorrow or Monday morning. I don't know. I'm excited for this. This looks dope. I just want to keep the variety chaos wheel going because we haven't really done this. And I want to do several first impression reviews on multiple games to really get through them because they've just been backlogged for so long. So tune in for part 2 of this either later tonight or first thing tomorrow or in the next couple of 48 hours or 2. It's coming back at you, but not right this hot second. Unless I step away and need to come right back. I think I won't be doing this up next though. But I ask you for your indulgence and your interconnected viewing participation. Let me know which games you love the most. Vote for them in the almost daily Variety Gaming live stream upvote box available on my Twitch About tab. Go to Twitch TV, my name, Mr. Zeppo, without the period. And find the About tab and find the upvote box. And if you're on a phone, you might need to go to the chat and then go to the little 2 boxes up above and pick, I don't know which one it is, the left one or the right one, but one of those 2 is the upvote box. But I don't know why it's weird like that on the phone. All right, friends, a brief break here, and then we'll be back with a completely different first impression look at some other game that I've been meaning to get started, take a dive, take a look at, and then the variety chaos as we spin out into something else entirely. Tune in for more. I'll be right back. Hasta la vista, amigos. In the meantime,